Welcome to the Happiness Podcast. I'm Dr. Robert Puff. Health. What price tag would we put on our health? I once heard a story that the previous Queen of England said that she'd give up her entire kingdom just to be healthy again. What price tag would we put on our health in order to stay healthy throughout our lives? It's such an important question, and yet many people really never think about it. What do I do to stay healthy? They just see disease and illness as something that comes and goes to everyone, and there's really not much they can do about it. But is that true? But if we do have some control and effect on our health, what then keeps us healthy? Is it just chance? Are some people just born healthier, and others of us are just unlucky? There may be some genetic predisposition towards being healthy. I mean, after all, we all know people who have very long family lines, and their grandparents and parents live to be a very old age. But unfortunately, we don't have any choice over this. We don't get to choose our genetics or our families that we're born into. We're born with what we have. So is there any choice in regards to our health? I believe there is. A lot of choices, and if we do these choices, we'll increase our odds of having good health significantly. And like the Queen of England, what price tag would we put on that? Well, for me, it's a lot, because I like being healthy. And what I'm going to say next is not in any way trying to be a braggart or narcissistic. I'm just sharing my story, which my hope is will encourage you to perhaps do some of the things that I found work to stay healthy. When I was in university, at the end of every semester, I used to get really sick. Literally, the next day after the finals were done, I would be sick for a day or 3 days, just recovering from all that stress. Well, towards the end of my PhD, I started getting a little bit wiser and realized that it wasn't worth it anymore. So I reduced the stress and changed some of my habits. And guess what happened? Well, now I'm approaching over 30 years of working, and in those 30 years, I have still missed only 1 day of work because of illness. I once got food poisoning, and I missed a day of work because of the food poisoning. But that's the only day I've missed in over 30 years of working. I do occasionally get a cold or a cough, but that's about it. I haven't had the flu, I haven't had any viruses at all in over 30 years. So what works? What keeps us healthy? And I want to put it into 3 categories. The one everyone's going to know of, I'm pretty sure. But the second 2, I don't think a lot of people think about. They're important, but a lot of people discard them. Well, the first one is how we take care of our bodies. What are we eating? For example, I think everyone knows that a lot of fruits and vegetables are really good for us. And yet, we're usually tempted to eat other things. So why is that? Well, it has a lot to do with immediate gratification. We want what we want, and we want it now. And a juicy burger and fries sounds a lot better than a really big salad. And so that immediate gratification pays off. In the short run, our food tastes better, somewhat, but in the long run, it's really not very good for us, so we get unhealthy. But when we steep ourselves in lots of organic fruits and vegetables, and try to eat really a clean diet, whatever works best for us, but I really want to advocate a lot of fruits and vegetables, particularly if they can be organic. Greens, a lot of greens are so good for us that we'll find this will be so healthy. When I travel, I eat a lot of salads. When I'm home, I make a lot of green smoothies because I really try not to cook my vegetables or my fruits, because what happens is it kind of kills the goodness in it. Think about heating up our hands. If we put it over a warming bin, it's not a big deal. But if we put it over a hot flame, it's going to hurt and destroy our hands. It's the same way with fruits and vegetables. Cooking them kills a lot of the goodness in them, so it's better to eat them raw if we can. And for me, what I find works best when I'm home are green smoothies. I make green smoothies every single day. I put vegetables like kale and spinach into my blender, add some water so it's drinkable, mix it up, and then I add some fruit to make it taste good. And with that combination, I get a lot of organic fruits and vegetables that have everything in them, the fiber, all the vitamins, all the enzymes. And with time, you develop a really good taste for it. I look forward to my green smoothies every morning. And of course, what goes along with eating well is moving our bodies, exercise. There are so many different forms of exercise that we can do, but moving our bodies is good for us, and we should do it often. That really helps us stay healthy. Now, again, this category I think a lot of people understand. They may not do it, but they understand it. And I think the same way with foods is with exercise. We don't do the exercise because of immediate gratification. Coming home and having a glass of wine sounds a lot better for many of us than going for a walk when we get home. But with time, if we get our bodies moving, again, we get used to it. We even like it. We like eating good fruits and vegetables. We like moving our bodies. It's just habits. And to change our habits take time, but when we work on it and we get the rewards of start being and feeling a lot healthier, it's worth it. So let's move on to the next two categories that might surprise you when it comes to being healthy. The first one is our thoughts. What are we thinking all day long? I mean, don't we all know really cheerful, happy people that just see everything with the cup half full? They're able to do that because throughout the day, they're really working on what comes in. What are they exposing themselves to? Conversations that they're having with other people? How much news they watch or don't watch? How much social media is positive that they get involved with versus negative? How much they listen to and actively engage in that is negative. They're careful. It's like eating organic fruits and vegetables. They're eating positive thoughts and positive messages. And these reinforce positive thinking. And then they have a good life because they're working on it. Thoughts keep us healthy. The way they do that is by exposing themselves to really positive things, like podcasts, like YouTube channels, like books, like talks. All these things reinforce them good thinking, and good thinking creates good health. I mean, I think we all know the feeling when we watch a really good movie that's positive, that's uplifting, versus one that's dark, where a lot of people get hurt. It may be more entertaining, but it doesn't make us feel good after the movie's over. It's like that. Our thoughts impact us. And when we have a lot of healthy thoughts, we have a healthy body. It contributes to our health. It just makes sense. I mean, if we're steeping ourselves in negativity, it's going to wear us out. It's going to make us sick. And if we're steeping ourselves in positivity and surrounding ourselves with positive people, it's really going to help influence us. I think one of the first people out there that really discovered the connection between our thoughts, what we expose ourselves to, and our health, is by the man by the name of Norman Cousins. He's passed now, but he wrote a book called The Anatomy of an Illness. And what happened was he had an illness which he had 1 in 4,000 chance of living, and he didn't want to die. So he had them bring in comedies into his room, and he watched uplifting comedies all day long. And guess what? He survived his illness and later went on to teach other people and even medical students the importance of our thoughts. Our thoughts matter. When we expose ourselves to negative things, it's going to wear us out. And if we keep exposing ourselves to that, it's going to really wear us out. I mean, think about the news. Don't we all know people that watch a lot of news? And aren't they often very negative? And that negativity is like a breeding ground for illness. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to get sick, but it sure doesn't help us stay well. Our mental health affects our physical health. I really think we all know that. We fight it, but we know that. Again, it gets back to that immediate gratification. Sometimes it's more entertaining to watch YouTube videos about violence than it is to listen to a podcast about happiness. It's just more entertaining. But with time, we can develop a taste for being around positive, uplifting things and limit ourselves to them. It helps, and it helps us be happier and, I believe, healthier. And if you don't know what to listen to, guess what? There are over 350 happiness podcast episodes available right now. That's a lot of listening. So you could start there. There are so many good things we can expose ourselves to. but we do need to proactively seek them out and be careful what we let in, because our thoughts matter. The third and last thing that I feel really affects our health is what we say. That may surprise you. Why does it matter what we say? It matters in many ways the same way because of what we think. When we say things that are negative, when we say things that are hurtful, it hurts us because we're creating a state of negativity. And again, that negativity is not good for our health. We all know how bad stress is for us. Well, negativity is in many ways an extreme form of stress. And when we're spewing vile words at people or yelling at people that are cutting us off or just saying things that are unkind or doing things that are unkind, that just leads to a lot of negative consequences. Karma, we might call it. But it just means that we're going to experience a lot of negativity. And negativity is a breeding ground for illness. So if we want to be healthy, we have to be kind. Kindness has so many positive consequences. I can't even tell you the number of podcasts I have done on kindness because it is so important. Kindness has so many ramifications, and I believe one of the biggest ones is health. It keeps us healthy. When we're kind, it doesn't mean we're going to always be healthy, but it adds to our health. It adds to our immune system. It keeps us in a positive state, and that positive state keeps us healthy. When we're negative, it's like a breeding ground for illness. So if we stay positive, particularly with what we're saying to other people, it can increase our odds for staying healthy. Now, we all may still get sick. I may tomorrow get a cancer and be dead a week from now. But it's just like eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's better for us, and it keeps us overall healthier. Again, we have to be careful because shame is a powerful emotion. And remember, thinking and saying are a very important part of this health, but they also matter what we think and say to ourselves. If we say, well, I'm sick, there must be something wrong with me, I must be a bad person, that's a dark path to go down. A far better approach is to say, I'm sick. Are there things I could do that might improve my life? And I'll work on those next time, and perhaps I won't get as sick next time either. So kindness towards ourselves is important too, not just towards others. But watching our words and watching what we think and watching what we eat and getting a little exercise too, all together makes for a very healthy immune system. And more importantly, it makes us happier and more peaceful, because living with illness is not fun. Getting sick over and over again is so tiring. If we do things to change that, watching the stress in our lives, exercising, eating well, watching our thoughts, watching how we treat other people, it's like we're creating an environment for us to grow in, a healthy environment so that we can be healthy. When we change things in our world, we can get so much better. A friend of mine who I knew through yoga, she and her husband moved up north to a remote cabin in the woods just to get away from all the hustle and bustle of life. And guess what? She got a lot better. She got totally well and recently had her first child because her body got healed and better. Again, our health is priceless. I think we would all put a very high price tag on it to stay healthy to our last breath. There are no guarantees, but I can guarantee if we do these things that we're talking about today, the chances of us staying healthier are a lot higher. And if we get sick, hopefully we won't get as sick and we'll recover a lot faster. So may we all live healthy lives through making healthy choices and be kind towards ourselves and others when we don't do as well as we would like. But I deeply believe if we work on being healthy and staying healthy, we will find that our lives will be better, and there will settle in on our hearts a sense of peace and happiness that truly is priceless. Thank you for joining me on the Happiness Podcast. If you'd like to learn more about the podcast, please go to happinesspodcast.org. And until next time, accept what is, love what